Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am laichenir, and today I'm just gonna be doing a little chit chat, get ready with me rant about the whole men versus women, women versus men debate that we've been talking about for years now, and what I think will be the solution. So if you're interested, please stay tuned. So today I'm just going to be talking about something that unfortunately we've been talking about for like the past 5 years, since I feel like COVID made this an every day, every week, every month debate. And we're basically going to just talk about the divide between men versus women and the solution. So I'm going to be doing my makeup. No particular look, just winging it, I guess, just something to do while I talk. So yeah, if you hear anything, my AC is gonna keep going on and off, so that's what the background noise is. But anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so I did write some notes, so like if you see me looking down or over here, I am referencing my notes just to like help keep me on track, because I do have ADHD, so I might go off track, but it's okay. I don't know how I want to do my makeup at all. I guess I'll just start with my eyes. As you can see, I already did my eyebrows and my eyelashes, so I'm just going to be working on my eyes and my face. So like I said, I've been seeing this on, like, you can't escape it on social media. Every single day there's a new remix to men versus women, women versus men, who is at fault, who is the bad guy, who is the good guy, who's right, who's wrong. And you know, it was something to talk about 5 years ago. I even did my own video, I think in like 2021, saying, you know, all men are trash. This was like right after a breakup, so my emotions were like very fresh, and I may feel some of the same ways as I did at that time. Like some of the things that I said in that video, I may still, you know, have the same feelings, or like I still think the same way, but for the most part, like all the extra like
I hate men, I'm tired of men
stuff, it's not really there. Do they annoy me? Yes. Are they a little delusional? Absolutely. But the way I was moving in that video or acting in that video, that was like 4 years ago. I was 26. I think I was 26. So yeah, it's a little different. So basically the video title is The Divide Between Women versus Men and the Solution. So I'm gonna just go over a few things that I think would help us. And I'm just going to be talking to the women, because that's just who I feel like, you know, I need to be speaking to. I don't feel like the men are going to listen to me. They usually don't listen to what we have to say. So this is just for the women, like what I feel like we could be doing on our side. And then the men can talk to the men, and then maybe they'll listen. Maybe the girls will listen. Who knows? But yeah, so I'm just going to start with the very first thing. And like I said, since we've been talking about this like heavy for like the last 4 or 5 years, I really feel like at this point, which is my first thing, we should stop arguing with the men. Basically, like when they say something, and I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them are not capable enough to have the conversation. They're not smart enough to have these conversations, so they just will not get the conversation, no matter how you try to spin it, no matter how you try to say it to them, no matter what you do to like get them to understand, they're not going to. So I don't feel like we should just stop arguing. If somebody says something that you don't like, I feel like you should just ignore it. We're on social media, we may see comments we don't like, people may respond back to us and say things that we don't like, or we feel like we have to like debate about. I don't feel like we should. At this point, like there's so much information out. I feel like if a lot of people don't get it by now, they just won't get it. And a lot of people, and especially like a lot of these men, they don't really care to understand you. They just want to be right. They just want you to be wrong and them to win the argument. So don't engage with them. Do not argue with them, because they don't really care to understand or see where you're coming from. So don't do it. This kind of goes in with the first one, along with arguing, like stop going back and forth with them. You can always block. I do this a lot. If I see somebody post something or say something that I don't really agree with, or I feel like it's stupid, or I feel like it's just toxic or just harmful, I'll block them. I don't even have to know them or follow them. I will block them, because I don't need that type of negativity in my life. So I won't even, you know, try to go back and forth with certain people. It was like some of my shorts that went up a couple years ago. One was about girl talk and like just talking about men, just talking about just different things, and people were under my comments saying crazy stuff about it. I literally did not respond. If I felt like they were too crazy, I did block them, but for the most part, I didn't respond. I'm not going back and forth. If I said it, I meant it, and that just is what it is. You can go argue with somebody else, but you're not gonna argue back and forth with me because I said what I said. And I feel like that's how we should be. There was another one where somebody, I think I was just doing a regular makeup video, Beyonce concert makeup video, and people were in my comments just saying crazy stuff about my makeup, about me not having a husband and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, you got that from my makeup video? I guess so, but I didn't feel the need to go back and forth with them and entertain them because why? They don't care to understand me. They don't care to hear me out. They just want to say how they feel and then further downplay me or like, you know, make me feel like trash. So I'm not even gonna give them a chance to. They're gonna be talking to themselves. They don't like themselves, and a lot of time it's projection. So recently with like the Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion thing, it came to me that people are crazy and delusional. But if I could think back to another time, it was really power that made me realize that people are delusional, especially the men. And if you're a woman that agrees with this, you might be delusional and a pick-me. But I saw it back then and I was like, wow, you know, people are really insane to think that Tasha was the reason for Ghost's downfall. And I'm like, not really. Ghost was the reason for Ghost's downfall. Did Tasha, you know, have some influence sometimes? Maybe like 5-10%. If anything, Tommy was not letting him get out the game. It was a lot of people that were like making sure that he did not become anything more than what he was. But a lot of time it was him. He made a lot of decisions selfishly because he wanted to. And people kept trying to blame Tasha as if she was making him do these things. And he was doing a lot of stuff because he wanted to, for his selfish gain, to the point where he, you know, broke up his whole family, you know, him not being around and not taking care of his family and, you know, just being there, got his son into some mess. He lost his daughter. Like, he lost a whole lot of people around him, his side chick, the mistress. Like, you know, he had a lot going on, and to keep trying to blame Tasha for it was always crazy to me because he did what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. It was not just Tasha, and it really wasn't much of her anyway. And then after a while, she ended up being like, she started getting in with his shenanigans. She started helping him in cahoots with the mistress. Like, she was down, unfortunately, but somehow she was still the bad guy. At that point, I should have known that no matter what men do, we will always be the reason for their downfall. Like, no matter what part they played in it, they will take zero accountability. And that is a word of this year. Accountability, pandering, those are the words of the year of 2025, and I'm over it. Like, because people are just throwing them around, but they don't understand the true definition. And I think a lot of times men want accountability to be punishment. But back on topic. In that moment, I should have realized zero accountability is what comes from these guys. So to get into accountability, or the lack of, you know, they claim a lot that we don't know what accountability is, that we're always running from accountability. And I'm not going to say that there aren't some women who refuse to hold themselves accountable, who will not look at themselves and see where they went wrong in certain situations. I'm not going to say that does not exist, but I'm just going to give you a few examples of when we do take accountability and how they still try to act like that's not us taking accountability. So one way we do take accountability is when it comes to our dating life. You know, a lot of times when you see women on the internet complaining about their baby fathers, their relationships, people they've dated, the situations that they've been in, you have a group of men or women who tell us to pick better. They say, you know, pick better, you won't have these issues, da 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 da. So some women will argue and say that it's kind of hard because you know, men pretend to be whatever you need them to be. They are manipulators and liars. And then you have some people like, you know what, you're right. I could do better at picking, you know, a better guy. You're correct. I didn't make the best choices when it came to dealing with or entertaining this man, which is cool, right? So then after that, after we sit with ourselves and we realize that we just, you know, didn't make the best choices, or that we, you know, could do better, like you said, pick better, do better. After we figure that out, we start moving that way to where, like, we do move on and we do pick better, or we have higher standards. And then another problem comes because the goalpost is always moving. Another problem comes in where the ones who told us to pick better because they think they're the good guys or the ones that should be chosen, they're still not getting chosen. So then they're upset about it. And all of a sudden, our standards are too high. We're not realistic with our standards. But when we did the work and we realized what we were choosing before, what we shouldn't go for, whether it's somebody who is not consistent, whether it's somebody who is not emotionally intelligent, somebody who's not financially stable, somebody who, you know, has certain issues with them, whatever that is that we need to pick better at. Once we figure out what those things are and we start implementing those standards, and then you realize you don't fit in that box of the better man, the better pick, then you get upset. First it was we didn't know how to pick, we need to do better. We're picking Pookies and Ray Rays, and I mean, I hope we're done saying things like that because it's annoying. But we were picking those type of guys, right? And now that we're not, we've grown up, we've realized, hey, you know, you're right, I should vet the guys that I date a little bit better. I should, you know, make better decisions for the type of guy that I want long term. And, you know, the guy that possesses certain qualities will more than likely be a good guy. But now that you're not getting chosen, you're still not getting chosen, because first we were picking the bad guys and now we're picking the good guys, but you're not a part of that. Now our standards are too high. But unfortunately, that's what comes with us being accountable, because we realize we picked terrible guys in our younger days or whenever. We reevaluated. We got real with ourselves. We understood where, you know, where that came from, trauma, whatever. We healed. And then we said, you know what? I'm gonna make sure I pick a certain type of guy based off of this. Now we're wrong. Now there's an issue. And then they're, you know, they're realizing they just may not be chosen in that situation. And then here's another example. We see it all the time. So you wanna talk about people holding themselves accountable. Let's talk about Sierra. Now, I don't know about her dating too many people other than, I don't remember if she dated Bow Wow, but let's just say she dated Bow Wow and then she dated Future. So she dated those two people. That's really the only people I know her to be linked to other than her husband, Russell. But she dated Future. She was engaged to Future. They had a baby. Future did her wrong. He disrespected the relationship. He cheated on her. She ended the engagement. She left him. Now she's a single mother, baby mama, whatever you want to call her. In that instance, you would say, well, hey, if you didn't pick somebody like him, you picked a better man, you would have better results. Right. So the next time she dates, she's going to make sure that she's dating somebody who is a decent guy, somebody who's a good man, who's going to do right by her, who do right by her son, all those things. And, you know, the next time she's gonna attempt to get it right. And that's literally what she did. She ended up getting a good man who takes care of her son from a previous relationship. They have other kids. He's been taking care of being a good husband, good father to all of their kids. And he's just an all-around good guy. But people make it seem like he's a terrible person, or one, she doesn't deserve to get that good person, even though, you know, when she ended up dealing with him, she went through what she went through. You know, people are saying she got to do better, like it's your fault, you picked him, da 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 da. So she's like, okay, cool, you're right. I don't know where I was at in that moment. I was tweaking. I should have made better choices, but you know, the older I am, I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice. And some people do that, unfortunately. some people do that, unfortunately, where they keep making the same mistake over and over again because they never learn. But in this case, it seemed like she learned and attempted to do better the next time. So she did all that, and people are still upset about it. They feel like, one, she doesn't deserve, because they don't respect people who have kids. They don't respect single mothers. They feel like basically you're used goods, you're like a waste, you don't deserve a second chance at love. You've already wasted your one chance in life that you get to be granted a good person because, for whatever reason it didn't work out with the father of your child. And basically you're useless. Like, that's how they feel about single mothers. So for her to end up finding a good man is crazy to them because they don't value single mothers. They don't see any value in them. The red pill community, but we're not going to talk about them because they are big cap. Like, they are very strange with their views and beliefs and stuff like that. But anyways, and then you got the deadbeat baby daddies who feel like it's a problem that Russell steps up and claims little Future as his, takes care of him, because why would she get with somebody who didn't take care of little Future, who didn't claim him, who treated him like dirt? Like, why would she do that? That would be a problem too if she did that. So he's being a good man. He understands that she was a package deal. She came with her child. He understands that he needs to respect her child from the previous relationship. And also, I don't understand why they have more hate for Russell than they do Future when, like, he legit does not do what he's supposed to do as a father. They make it seem like Russell's coming in and he's the cause for that. Like, no, Future, which we need to hold them accountable. When we talk about accountability, if he's not doing his job, they can both be active fathers in his life, and he's gonna have to, because if she moves on to another person, because if Future was not faithful in that relationship, if he didn't do what he's supposed to do and respect the relationship so that they could be one big happy family, she's gonna have to move on, and there's gonna be another man. So since there's another man, at the very least, if you're mature, you're gonna want her new man to love your child, take care of your child, respect your child, like, not be a jerk to your child. Why would you not want him to treat your child well? I'm not gonna say I don't know, because I have seen different posts of Future kind of being kind of stupid about it. It's just really dysfunctional for, people to be a certain way towards the ones who stepped up. It's like some people just want you to straight up abandon the child and abandon the mom because they're at this point useless. But it's like the man who left them is the enemy, not the one who stayed, or the child. The child is innocent and the mom is not the enemy. So, like, I don't get that. That's just one example, I feel like, of a woman taking accountability, learning from her mistakes, moving forward, and doing better. Like, exactly what people tell them to do, that's what she did. And it's, to this day, still a problem. Like, people cannot get into it. Like, they just feel like, I guess they just feel like she just doesn't deserve it, and they think he's a simp, which is crazy to me. But that's how they feel about Sierra, Future, and Russell. Crazy. Again, we're doing the work, but they don't like when we do the work. We have to do it their way, I guess, or just, I don't think there's a correct answer, like I said, because the goalpost is always moving. But anyways, let's go on to the next solution, which is stop entertaining trash men. So it seems like the internet, social media, a lot of people take things to the extreme. So it seems like, just because of the type of men that we have to pick from these days, the dating pool is just not that great. I'm not gonna act like it's the best. I'm not gonna act like, trash men don't exist, because they do. But what I'm going to say is, just because they come to us and they try to date us and they try to talk to us, it doesn't mean that we have to entertain them. There's going to be all types of men that approach you, try to talk to you, and you get to know them, just because you're open to dating, all those things. But there comes a point where, like, you have to vet them and just figure out what type of man you're dating. And there will be signs. You'll know when you're dating a trash man. You'll know based off of his mindset. You'll know based off of his actions, his effort. And then there's some who, you know, are very good actors and they just spring it up on you. That's not a rare case, but it's like a smaller percentage. Because a lot of people will show you who they are if you really like pay attention to them. You know, we always missing those red flags for whatever reason. Trash men could look really good. Trash men could have a lot of money. Trash men they can have a lot of good characteristics, or they can kind of look good on paper, but like when you really get to know them, they may end up being trash. And I really think we should stop entertaining them, because some of us get to the point, like I said, we get so extreme to the point where we want to stop dating, because as we get to the point where we're just like, well, like I keep getting, you know, trash man after trash man, bad man after bad man, and I'm just tired of dating. I'm just over it, because you keep entertaining trash men and you keep ignoring the red flags, because again, they may look good. Unfortunately, you got to the sex part and the sex is good, you don't want to be alone. They are like really ruining your dating experience, your perception of dating. And I just really feel like if you just dated men who were decent, you would have a better experience. And then it would be more like, okay, we're not together, it's not gonna work because we're not compatible, not because you treat me like dirt, or not because you have 15 baby mamas, or not because you are abusive, or whatever it may be. It's like, it's just, you know, like, you know, you cool and all, I really enjoyed your time, but, you know, we just don't have the same beliefs, or we don't have the same values, or your mindset is a little different than mine. Like what you want out of life is just, your goals are just a little bit different than mine. You know, that's how dating goes. Everybody's not gonna be your husband. Everybody's not gonna be your person, and it's a lot different dating that way, when you guys can like kind of mutually end it, than to have to end it on a toxic, crazy note, and then it just like puts a bad taste in your mouth on men and dating. When it doesn't have to be that way, because, you know, just like we said before, we're picking better, we're choosing better. We have to stop entertaining the trash men if we want to, I guess, feel better in this space. Like there's no ill feelings towards certain men, especially not all of them. If you pick better, like some of the guys say, like if you really entertain decent men, you won't feel as bad about dating. Like, it's gonna be a little bit annoying that you still haven't found your person. It may be a little bit annoying that you might really like this guy, but there was, you know, one major thing that just really didn't allow y'all to continue. And, you know, that is still frustrating, but trust me, you'd rather have that than to keep traumatizing yourself, staying in situations that don't serve you, or that are toxic and dysfunctional. Like, it's a different thing when you're having to let somebody go or leave somebody alone because, you know, they just ultimately do not serve you, rather than continuing to be with somebody that doesn't serve you and going through all of the ups and downs of that. Trust me, leave at the first red flag, please. You're gonna save yourself a lot of heartache and trauma. So another solution to the divide, the men versus women thing, the pick-me's and super religious women may not get what I'm saying. They may not understand where I'm coming from, but, and we've been hearing it over and over again, the solution is to center men. Don't make that your whole personality, please do not, because if you make that your whole personality, are you really decentering men? Probably not. But you have a lot of problems with these men, and they kind of like run your whole life, like they run your emotions, they ruin your mental health, because you put them at the forefront of your life. Like, you can't function without their validation. You want that man so bad that you're willing to put up with everything, anything, just to say you have the man. And it has to come to a point where you put yourself first. You center yourself, and you have to know your worth, your standards, like things like that. That man can't be the reason why you keep going, like the only reason why you keep going through life, just to get a man. You dress to get a man, you do certain things to get a man, like you stay in, you know, like I said, certain situations just to say you have a man. We gotta let it go. You still have to interact with men, you can still date men, you can still like men, but don't make them the sole reason why you do everything you do. It's not beneficial, it's not helpful. Some of you guys make decisions based off what a man feels. You'll let bums people who are not that smart, men who are just not on your level, make you feel less than, and they'll convince you that like no matter what you've accomplished, they'll say things like,
those degrees won't keep you warm at night. Your job won't do such and such.
they'll make you feel like no matter what you've accomplished, all of those things, it still means nothing if you don't have a man. And that's a terrible way to look at it, because there are women who have men and are miserable. There are women who have men and don't have a dime to their name. There are women who have men and they treat them like crap, but they have a man, so like they're winning, right? No matter, they haven't accomplished anything else in life, but they have the man, so they won. Until they're losing, because if that man is not a good man, they're losing. But yeah, it doesn't matter how happy you are single, it doesn't matter how accomplished you are without a man. If you don't have a husband or kids, they're gonna make you feel like you're not doing what, you're not anything. Even if they legit are not anything, even if they don't have a home, they don't have a job, they don't have a car, they don't have any accomplishments, their IQ is very, very, very low. Like they have nothing to offer. But they try to make you, who has everything to offer, who's doing such great things for herself, like you're in great shape, you feel good, you have a good community around you, you have a good village, like you're doing great, you're doing wonderful in life, you're very accomplished. Society and these men will make you feel like,
oh, that's cute, but like, where's your husband? Oh, that's cute, but like, no kids? You're getting to be such and such age and you don't have kids? Like, I guess so.
like they try to downplay it, and what it really is that they feel inadequate and they're projecting on you. They don't feel secure with themselves, they don't feel accomplished. They try to hold on to those little things to be like, well, you know, even though you have all this, you know, you're super successful, you have all this money, you're not lonely, you enjoy your friends, you enjoy your family, you enjoy traveling, you enjoy spending time by yourself, you enjoy your cats, you enjoy your dogs, you enjoy your plants, you enjoy all those things they make fun of. Even though you have all these things, well, you know, I have the man or the woman and I have the kids, so I'm doing better than you. And it's like, if you were, you wouldn't be worried about what somebody who is single and enjoying their life is doing. Those debates on Twitter about women with kids, people with kids, people with no kids, and how the ones with kids are always talking about people with no kids. Like, bro, don't you have something else to be doing, like taking care of your kids? Don't be worried about people who don't have kids. like please. If we're enjoying ourselves without kids, we're enjoying our free time, we're enjoying our naps, we're enjoying our money, let it go. Let it go. Stop. But, you know, people project, because they know the reality of their situation and they try to make you feel bad about your situation to big themselves up. They try to make you feel like you're not doing life the right way, which is really, really trash, but you're doing just fine. Trust me. I really feel like the right man, they will not make you feel bad about being successful, and they won't make you try to dumb yourself down so that they feel more superior to you. Like I said, a lot of them are projecting and inadequate. They know they feel inadequate, so they try to, you know, knock you down a couple notches. And I just feel like if you decenter men and you do things because you enjoy doing them, the right person will come along and be on your level. Like they will understand what you have going on. Like that stupid thing that guys talk about when you have like a lot of highlights in your Instagram of you traveling all over the world. That's a turn off to some guys, because they feel like, you know, well, you've already done all of this and you're well cultured and you've already done, you know, I guess there's nothing for them to come in and do with you, or I don't know. When they say stuff like that, it just screams I'm just inadequate. Like I can't keep up. I can't travel, and I don't know if they feel like they have to provide. Well, first, a lot of guys already think that we don't pay for a lot of these trips, and some of us don't, and some of us do, but I guess if they feel like they can't provide, like maintain that lifestyle, they don't want to talk to you, which is like, why can't we just travel together? Why do you feel threatened by the fact that I enjoyed exploring the world. Like, why don't you want to do that too? Why do you feel threatened? That's concerning. But that is the reality for some folks. That's how some of these guys are talking and projecting on the internet, making us feel like we're the bad guys, or making us feel like it's a problem for us to have a highlight full of all the countries and vacations that we've taken. And like, why is that not seen as a good thing? We don't know. But if you decenter men, it does not matter. You do what you want to do. You enjoy your life. Like I said, the right person will come along and be like, oh wow, she likes to travel. I like to travel too. We can travel together. That's your person. But if you're doing everything to make sure that you appeal to the men, it'll never work. Goalposts always moving. It's always something new. Every day you think you get here and you finally meet their standard, and they move it. It's a new one. It's a new one that day. So don't do it. Next solution, focus on yourself. Please pour into yourself. Work on your mental, work on your physical and your emotional health. Get your money up. Enjoy your life and just do the things that you enjoy doing. Like, live your life and enjoy your life. It doesn't matter what people on social media say, men, women, anybody. It doesn't matter how they feel you should be living your life, how they feel you should be spending your money. Like, if you worked hard for it, you spend it on what you want to spend it on. If you want to spend it on luxury items, if you want to spend it on food, if you want to spend it on vacations, if you want to spend it on hair, makeup, enhancements, whatever it is, like, live your life for you. Please do not, again, be living your life for other people. Focus on yourself. You focusing on being a better you will put you in a place to where you attract and entertain like-minded individuals, better men. If that's what you're looking for. But again, like I said, we're decentering men. We're focusing on ourselves. This is more like how you can just feel okay in this era of men versus women. Like, so you just feel more secure. You don't feel like these conversations are about you, or you don't feel like these are digs at you personally. We really have to worry about ourselves and what we can do to better ourselves. Next solution will be to protect yourself. It would be to protect your time and your energy. You know, when you're dating, you know, you might get in the moment where you want to date. You may like be in that mode, that era of dating. Like, I'm going to be open to dating. I want to give somebody a chance. Or, you know, people just come up to you and talk to you. They want to get to know you. You don't have to give everybody your time and energy. You don't have to give everybody access to you. Even if you're bored, you don't have to entertain everybody that comes around. Protecting your time and your energy is very important to this whole little thing. Like, you got to know your worth. You got to know what you bring to the table, the things you provide, your value. And everybody should not have access to that. Everybody should not get a little piece of that. Okay? Protect yourself. And we're going to go into the next one. Solution to this divide, this problem that we have, men versus women. Stop giving these men children.
Please.
Especially with no commitment. Heavy on the with no commitment. Stop giving these men children with no commitment. They have to commit to you first. And I mean commit, marry you first. Unless you don't want to be married. If you're one of the ones who don't really care for marriage, you don't really see it, that's not your thing, this is not for you. But if you know you want to be married one day, you want that man to commit to you, please. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen this way where you could have the child first, you could do things all out of order and it works for you. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying it's very rare. We see more of baby first, no marriage, than marriage, baby, and it works out. We do see that. Statistically speaking, you know, the numbers, it's more likely that if he commits to you through marriage, if he takes that time, and I mean like legit, I'm not talking about people who just get married just to say they get married. I mean people who really value marriage, who really understand the union. When he takes that time to make sure he wants you to be his wife, it is more likely that he will understand his duties as a husband and a father, and it will work out long term. Like, you shouldn't just get married just get married. You shouldn't just get married because you have a baby on the way. You shouldn't just get married for you should get married for legit reasons and really value marriage and understand that union, right? So if we do it that way, you're more likely to succeed. And we know that marriage will not prevent things 100%. We get it. But again, it's more likely that you'll be in a better position. You protect yourself, protect your child. You're definitely more protected than just being a single mother. You have a little bit more rights. Things may work out a little bit better for you as far as a little more stability, security, moving forward if you guys decide to split. So protect yourself in that situation for sure. Like I said, you don't have to want marriage, but don't say things like, well, you know, it doesn't work out in marriage, it doesn't guarantee, it doesn't. But if you know you want to be married, don't say things like that because it's not helping your case. We have to be honest with ourselves. And also don't say that if you've never tried. Like if you just keep having babies for men who are not committing to you, don't say, well, it won't work out if we get married. How would you know if you never tried? And a lot of times it does work out for women who get married and have kids. But we know for sure it's like a 80% fail rate if you don't get married first and have the children. It's probably like a, let's say 60-70% chance that it will work out if you do get married. It's a higher chance that it will work out if you get married. It's a higher chance that it won't work out if you don't get married. So like, why go with the higher chance that it won't work out when you can go with the higher chance that it will work out? Take your time. Don't give these no kids, especially if they're not committed to you. If they don't commit to you, do not give them no kids, unless you don't want to be committed to. Don't say you don't want to be committed to, and you're okay with having kids out of wedlock, and then later down the line expect commitment, because it's kind of crazy. It should be that way, but to have that expectation when you've already given him a child, it's a little harder, and we've been seeing it. A lot of men have a different thought process when it comes to that. Like we think, oh, you know, we have a child, it's time to get kind of serious, like we need to make some moves, but they don't think like that. So we should make sure they're already in that way of thinking, like commitment, providing, being a good husband, being a good father, before we give them kids. Also, next solution, please understand your value. Understand your value. This goes with the last thing. Unfortunately, not every man deserves a child. Like, I know they want one. They probably want them more than we do sometimes. But everyone does not deserve one. Again, if they're not committing to you, if they're not treating you a certain type of way, they don't deserve to get no child out of that situation. We hold that key. You know, they hold the key to commitment, marriage, all those things. Like, they kind of initiate those things, and they are the ones that can make that happen. Of course, we have a choice in that, but they initiate that. If they are not making that happen, then it doesn't happen. Some women do initiate that with men, but for the most part, they do that. They decide where that relationship is going to go. We decide if they're going to have kids or not. Like, we hold that key, and we need to understand that value that we have when it comes to that. We don't have to give every boyfriend a baby. That's serious. Every man does not deserve to have his legacy continued or to have a lineage. Some men, they don't come from good stock. They don't come from good stock. They're not good people. They have issues, and then they do all of that to just not even take care of their kids. They just want to say that they have a child and don't do much when it comes to raising them moving forward. So like, what's the point? I really feel like before you give a man a child, they have to understand your value. There's some men who have children, even end up having girls, and still don't understand the value of a woman. They don't feel like we're necessary, but they definitely need us to have children that they definitely want. They don't feel like it's necessary for them to respect us. They don't see us as anything other than breeders. They don't see us as anything at all. I don't think men like that should have children. Personally, I don't think they deserve it. I think that they need to understand your energy. They need to understand what you bring to the table. They shouldn't be asking you. They should already know what a woman brings to the table. The things that we bring to the table are not tangible. They need to understand that before they are granted a child. They don't think it's a big deal, but birthing a child, carrying a child, creating a child is a big deal. We could die. We could die from doing things like that. And if they don't think it's that big of a deal, they don't understand, they don't deserve no child. We need to protect our wombs. We do. That'll save us a lot of wasted time, a lot of heartbreak. If you already have a child, I mean, there's nothing you can do other than further protect your room and don't let it happen again unless that man really appreciates you, respects you, and values you. But if you're not there yet, keep it that way, please. If they don't see the benefit of you, please don't try to convince them. Leave them where they're at. Again, don't go back and forth. Don't argue. You need to know your worth. Be confident in that. You are what you think you are. Don't be outrageous. Don't be irrational. But like, if you know what you bring to the table and you feel like that man is not deserving, he doesn't see your value, don't entertain it. Don't try to convince him. He's not gonna get it. He's committed to misunderstanding you. He just doesn't see the value. He has to see that off rip. He has to know what he's signing up for. He has to know what he's approaching, what he's pursuing. If he's pursuing, like, he has to understand that. And you need to understand that too. When you know you're that girl, you don't have to tell anybody that. You don't have to convince anybody that you know. And I think one of the last solutions when it comes to this whole man versus women divide, the debate, the never-ending debate, it seems, is to just disconnect if you have to. I mean, it's kind of hard to escape it, really, because in some shape or form or fashion, it's going to be a new topic. Like, there's going to be some way for us to kind of be against each other or feeling ways about each other. So disconnect if you have to. Try to change your algorithm. Try to make sure that you only see things that, you know, are positive. Like, I personally have on Threads, I have the word men and the word women. I have it blocked, so like I don't see any of those like men versus women debates because they're kind of stupid. Like, I don't want to see them. Do certain things still slip past because of the way they word it? Yes, but you know, you can kind of curate it to be whatever you want it to be. And yeah, if you just want to see positive interactions between men and women, you can make it so that you do see it that way. Like, it doesn't have to always be all these dating horror stories or, you know, men talking down on women or women talking down on men. It doesn't have to be that. It can definitely be, you know, more positive. Like, if I interact with a couple of engagement videos or photos, that's all I'll see for a good week or so. And if I keep engaging in those or entertaining those, that's what I'm going to keep seeing. So just, you know, try to curate your algorithm, block things if you don't want to see them. Make sure you keep searching things that, you know, make you feel good, positive interactions with men and women, so you don't feel like there's no hope for us. Also disconnect by maybe deactivating your social media, taking that time for yourself, focusing on yourself, taking that time to get yourself together, get your mind right, touch grass, go interact with real people, maybe not interact with because the internet really can make you feel like there's no hope. If you like really base life off of what goes on the internet, you'll be lost in the sauce. You really will just feel terrible. But like, you know, go out and interact with real people, have true experiences, just disconnect from social media because it can be toxic sometimes, and it can just make you feel like there's just no point. But you shouldn't feel like that. Like, I get it. I definitely get it. I get it based off of social media, and I get it based off experience, but when you make those changes, dating just won't be as bad. Like, you'll have your feelings about it, but it'll just be different. It'll be different than having to constantly deal with terrible men rather than just like the thought of just not having your person yet. Like, that's totally different. So yeah, I think those are the solutions. I think that's everything. The solution to stop feeling overwhelmed and like annoyed by these topics is to just stop arguing with the men, stop going back and forth with them, stop entertaining trash men, take accountability for, you know, the part that you play in these situations, work on being better, work on healing, work on focusing on yourself, decentering men, protecting yourself, your time, your energy, valuing yourself, having some confidence, some self-esteem so that you know what you bring. You can't let a man convince you that you're not what you think you are. You will not allow a man to diminish your value, like, especially if he's not on your level. Stop giving men children. That's keeping us stuck. That's keeping us connected and tied to these losers forever. It's totally different when you can just, you know, skedaddle out of these situations because you have no ties. Stop. Don't give these men any children if they're not committing to you. That's a big deal. Don't let them convince you that it's not. Don't let them convince you that it's just a baby. No, it's not. It's a big deal. You're magic. You're doing great things. Don't just give that to just anybody. Make them commit to you first. Please. I don't care how long it takes. Wait it out. Love yourself enough to know that you deserve what you're asking for. And again, if you really feel like it's overwhelming, you're tired of the debates just like I was, because I deactivated my Instagram too because it's annoying, just disconnect. Take that time for yourself. Go touch grass. Go out in the real world. Read. Be around positivity. Curate your algorithm to where it benefits you and your mental health. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'm just gonna finish my makeup and then come back with the outro. Okay guys, so that was my video, my little chit chat, get ready with me about the solution, what I think we should be doing as women to kind of get out of this little war that we have going. Just basically mind your business. Worry about yourself. And yeah, if you like this video, if it was helpful for you guys, please talk a little bit in the comments down below. Give me your opinions, how you felt about it. And yeah, I think that's it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.